Welcome to the channel and welcome to the show. For those who don't know, my name is Reni. I'm a pagan from the beautiful country of the Netherlands. And sometimes when I'm bored, I fantasize. I fantasize about going back in time. Before Islam, before Christianity, when everything in the world was just animism, paganism, polytheism, and different shades of nature religion. And then I see in my mind's eye, I see certain things and I think, wow, we really should bring some of those things back. And that's what this video is about. This video is a plea to take back the initiation ritual. Now, some problems can be solved with that, and we're going to talk about what problems can be solved with the initiation ritual. But first, I think we have to explain what an initiation and an initiation ritual is. An initiation is like a gate that you pass through. And when you pass through that gate, nothing is the same. Everything is changed. Why? Because you have been changed. And that, my friends, is how magic works. People often think that it's magic where you change the outside world, but you don't change the outside world, you change yourself. And by changing yourself, the outside world has automatically changed. It's kind of like that scene in The Matrix where Neo is waiting for the Oracle and he sees this little kid with shaved head, and the shaved head kid is bending spoons, and he says, "Do not try to bend the spoon, for that is impossible. Simply try and realize there is no spoon." And that's exactly what it's like. Only in that metaphor, you need to change spoon with the entire fabric of reality. There is no reality. There is only you. And if you want me to explain any further, I can't. So that's it. So that's how it works. Initiation rituals change yourself on a very deep level. Now, if you understand how that works, then you understand what problems they can solve. To give you an example, you can see like to give you an example, say we've all tried to do something new once in a while. We've all tried to change ourselves. Tomorrow I will quit smoking. Tomorrow I will do push-ups every day. Tomorrow I will start losing weight. All that stuff. I don't know if you've ever tried that and if you ever failed. Yeah. We all have. Now why that is because you think inside you there's only one entity and one mind. It's just me in here. I call the shots and I say I'm quitting smoking tomorrow. But you failed. Why? Well, because there's not one entity inside of you. What if I told you there's quite possibly two entities inside you at the same time? Your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Maybe that's the reason why our brains have two halves. You have one half, usually the left, which is the dominant side. That's your mind. But you have the other side, usually the right side. Maybe that's the mind of your subconsciousness. And your subconsciousness knows what has happened and what is going to happen. It is not bound by the restrictions of time. That's where intuition comes from. Some people go like, how could I know that before it happened? How could I have this deja vu? When you have a deja vu, when you have this intuition, that's when your subconscious mind gets through symbolism to your conscious mind. So there are two entities inside of you. You can look at it like that, and then it makes a lot more sense that you're not able to change yourself. What you need to do is you need to reach your subconscious mind, but you can't talk to it, and your subconscious mind can't talk to you either. It can only work through symbolism. Now do you understand why symbolism is so important in mythology, and quite possibly why mythology and folklore has survived for thousands of years? Because it doesn't only appeal to your conscious mind, it appeals to your subconscious mind. You can look at it like a guy sitting on an elephant. Meaning the guy is your mind and the elephant is your subconscious mind. Meaning that you can steer yourself in a certain direction just as long as the elephant, your subconscious mind, wants to go. If it doesn't want to go, forget it, you're not going anywhere. So you need to reach your subconscious mind to truly change something inside yourself. And that's exactly what an initiation ritual does. It changes your mind on a very deep level. Now, what problem can this solve? Well, by the way, I'm going to make it more specific because initiation rituals can mean many things. Make it specific. What I'm talking about is, what if we just brought back a ritual for when a boy becomes a man? Because in our society, when does a boy become a man? Well, legally 18, but when you're 18, you think you're an adult, but when you're 25, you look back at 18, you go like, oh, cringe, terrible. And when you're 30, you look back at 25, you go, oh, I was so stupid. By the way, if you're one of those persons who has that, that's me included, don't feel ashamed. It just means that you've grown since the last 5 or 10 years. Because if you wouldn't have grown, you wouldn't have cringed. So don't be afraid of the cringe. Some good life advice. For me also, by the way, because I still have that. I sometimes have it so bad when I sit in the car and I'm just relaxed, and sometimes this memory comes up from 10 years ago and I realize how stupid I've been. I just literally start shouting in the car to get the memory out. Like, just trying to push the memory out because it's such, okay. Enough about me. What problem can it solve? Well, I'm increasingly getting older, and as I'm getting an old fart, I look down at the generations a bit younger of me and I see just young kids looking up to these influencer type, these TikTok, Twitch streamers, YouTube thingamajiggies, those guys, you know, who do really well financially and do really well in the charisma department, who have like 5 cars and 12 girlfriends and 16 bank accounts and all that shit. And the kids, they love that. They go, wow, he's so great. I understand why. But when I look at these influencers and these TikTokers and all these, most of them, I'm sure it's not all of them, but a lot of them, I see boys. I see boys in a man's body. I see somebody who hasn't been initiated into manhood. Because what's changed when you go from a boy to man? And not from a boy to man here. No, a boy to a man in a very subconscious manner. That your subconscious mind, that the elephant which you sit on top of also understands. Then you will understand that you are worthy. Because these guys have like 6 Ferraris and 5 Lamborghinis, but they realize if I just get 2 more Porsches and another Lamborghini, maybe then it will be enough. But you and I know, of course, it will never be enough. Doesn't matter how many Rolexes you have, you always want another Rolex or an Audemars Piguet or something even more fancy. It never stops. Because what they are looking for is what we are all looking for. We are looking for recognition. Confirmation that we matter and that we are worthy. There's a child inside us that really needs that. I need it too, just as much as you need it. But when you get that initiation from boy into a man, something changes. When you look at these TikTokers, which I now use as an example, what you see is somebody who's never had enough. You see a successful consumer, and for the kids, they look at that and they think that's the only path. The only path I have is to be a successful consumer, to buy shit to infinity. But when you get the initiation, you change from a consumer to a producer. You don't care anymore about what you can get from life. You only care about what you can produce of value for life itself. And when you change in such a way, well, you're very hard to influence and very hard to manipulate. That's when you change from becoming a playful boy to a dangerous man. Now, automatically the question arises, how can we start doing initiation rituals? Well, I don't have all the answers. I looked a bit up in the old texts, and what they used to do in Holland, I believe, is when a boy became a man, when he's at that cusp, they let him spend the night at the Hunnebedden. For the people abroad who don't know the Hunnebedden, those are Holland's very own megaliths, which I will do a video on eventually. They let him spend the night there. But these places are there's a certain energy there. There's certain spirits there. It's a scary place. So you bring like your 12-year-old boy there to spend the night. And the parents, they, stayed close to keep an eye. Not that the boy would notice, and they have other people who've tried to dress up black faces, see if they can scare the boy. And how he gets through the night, that's his ordeal, that's his initiation. And at that moment, he realizes, I conquered my fears that night and I became a man. And he is no longer swayed by the promise of recognition of riches, because he, at the center of his being, feels that he is valued and appreciated. And that's all that we'll ever need in this life. I thank you for watching. Go with gods, ga met goden. Like and subscribe, the usual shit. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all in a week or two.